On this episode of EdTech, new host Bill O'Donnell is joined by Ernie Bailey, Mike Tomei, and the brand new integrator, Mr. Greg Brown, talking about all things InfoComm from DSPs to AVB, the V in AVB. All live from the show floor of InfoComm 2016.
The network for the AV industry.
What are you listening to?
This
is AV.
This
is AVNation.
This is AVNation.
This is EdTech, episode 44, recorded Friday, June 10th, 2016, live from InfoComm 2016. EdTech is brought to you by our fine group of underwriters, companies like Vadio.
All right, good morning and welcome to EdTech, the monthly podcast for higher ed technology. I'm your host, Bill O'Donnell. I'm joined today on the InfoComm show floor with Mike Tomei.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well, sir.
Good.
Mr. Ernie Bailey.
Hello. Well.
And a long-lost compatriot, Mr. Greg Brown.
And along.
It's great to have you back, Greg.
Well, thank you. Good to see you guys. And boy, Bill, if you inviting me back as your first act here as running the show, I think it's only indicative of the direction this show is going.
Well, new show, as I say, same show, new host, new direction. In any event, guys, since we are down at InfoComm on the show floor, what have been some of the fun stuff you guys have seen? Mike, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah, so this year actually I had a different goal for the show. In the past, I used to do a lot of classes and come out early, do the 3-day class, then I do Super Tuesday, then I take classes during the time. But this year, I actually decided to teach a couple seminars. So that took up a lot of my time and went really well. Had over 100 people in each one.
It's standing room. It was, by what I was told, it was standing room only.
Yeah, it was great. It was a lot of fun. And,
which is really ironic that you were teaching a class about ADA compliance, yet your class was about to hit fire code compliance.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And so it was a lot of fun. And I put a lot of emphasis, too, during the show on building relationships with manufacturers and doing a lot of networking. And it's been great. So yesterday and today, I actually had some time to hit the floor and take a look at some products. I think the two big companies that really stood out to me were QSC and Biamp. Yeah, everybody's talking about Biamp's AVB boxes that they have.
Yeah, everyone. It's definitely been a big push on the huddle/conference room space. Folks just want something as we would put it, the Apple just kind of plug, hit go and start. Yep. And they're all seem to be getting into it. So
yeah, QSC with their Core 110 DSP that works really well in meeting rooms, classrooms, that sort of thing. They have a camera solution now that connects to it, and essentially a USB bridging solution for web conferencing.
Nice.
So it's going to be a nice kind of all-in-one package for these conference rooms and classrooms that require that instead of putting a lot of different boxes in there to achieve the same goal.
It is interesting to note that Biamp, QSC, and a couple other manufacturers are all trying to go for we have everything in our single ecosystem.
Yeah.
Here, it all works together.
Right.
And I won't lie, for someone who previously came from a security standpoint, that's great because if there's any kind of patching or any other security updates, it's all from the same company. It's all kind of just, here you go, everything comes up and you don't have to worry about it.
It's one or two boxes instead of a whole bunch of them that need to go on the network. So.
Yeah. So, cool. As I say, Ernie?
I'm going to go along with the Biamp part especially, with their new Lux product that allows you, what is it they said, puts the V in AVB.
Oh, that's true. Now, Ernie, I should ask up front, are you guys primarily a Biamp house or are you a mix?
We're primarily Biamp.
Okay.
We're a little bit of a mix, but mostly Biamp. But that is interesting, seeing them start to bring the video into the into the Tessera server anyway.
It is interesting to see these things. It's kind of funny. Last year or the year before, we had hey folks, we have the AV-IT convergence, and it's like, yeah, it's now on the network.
Yeah.
And now it's okay, guys. Here are your network standards. Here are your protocols.
Yeah.
You can make some new ones, but it's got to go still through the same. Let's see. I think most of them have standardized on what, 1 gig. I know some other manufacturers saying, oh, we'll go through a 10 gig port. Okay.
Yeah.
Not all of our campuses. Most of our campuses are saying, hey, we've got gigabit switches, 10 gig. You really have to justify to us before we change over.
Yeah.
Right.
So anyway,
like that, and then on the opposite side of that is Crestron coming out with their DSP products.
That is a big deal in itself. It seems like more Crestron is kind of going. We're getting more into the AV realm. I didn't see that much. I saw some of their stuff about their amps, but there wasn't that much about, say, the did they have a new touch panel at all?
I don't believe so.
But yes, they have a 15-inch touch panel.
Oh, all right. There we go.
Okay, they're pushing that.
Yeah.
It's just, it's a bigger touch panel.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny to note that a company that originally started off being big about being on control systems and touch panels is now oh yeah, we came up with a new touch panel.
They have to keep up with Extron.
That's true. Yeah. That is true. They're as I say, which they were at UBTech.
Yeah. That's right.
They were at UBTech.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I don't know.
And we've seen a lot of laser projectors out there.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting them into the education market now.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting affordable. They're at least 1080p, most of them. They have some very bright ones that we can use in our larger rooms that are now affordable. They're no longer six figures to get a. We spent so many years with, in most of our rooms, a 6,000 lumen cap.
Mm-hmm.
Just because if you went any higher than that, you had to finance it big time.
Right.
Yeah.
Now we're seeing, 11,000, 13,000 lumen projectors that, while I will call them expensive for the academic market, they are affordable expensive. They're at the top end of my budget for some of these rooms, but they're no longer out of reach and beyond thought.
You're right in that there have been some sort of we would put it lower price point models, but the trade-off is if you had a lower price point laser projector, your contrast ratio was really kind of rough. I know we had some folks from Panasonic come in about a year or two back, and they showed off their laser projectors, and they said, hey, we really think this would be a good fit for you guys. I said, well, let's go take a look. We have one of our standard NEC models, and they did a compare and contrast. And he put it up, and he went, "Oh, isn't it great? Isn't it? The color is nice and bright." And I went, "Well, that's good." And unfortunately, I said, "We're looking at a grayscale picture here, and where the regular LCD is showing off the detailed grays." I said, "You guys are still showing white." I'm like, "You gotta, it's." But once again, that was 2 years ago. These days, things have become a little bit more baked
They're
in.
looking good. Like I said, they're getting affordable. And at the same time, I'm seeing more lamp suppliers out here for education. So I don't, that seems to be a market that's, going to, I'm thinking, go away. I don't plan on buying lamp projectors unless I get into a situation where I can't find the laser that'll do it. I have noticed that there is a gap. We have one large auditorium, large for us anyway, that I really need about a 21,000 lumen projector.
Oof.
Well, all the people I've talked to go from 13 to 35, nothing in between. So they said, well, you can stack two of our 13s. Well, yes, I can, but then I've priced myself, You're
gonna have to ask one of your guys to get very good geometry very quickly. Yes, and you're right. There's the okay. We hit this mark, and then next thing you know, you're buying what would be a projector for a stadium, essentially.
Exactly.
And it's Yeah, like I said, the gap I think will start eventually closing as we're starting to get higher lumens with the lasers. For us, we'll probably start transitioning in another year or two. We have a big, I can say on our campus, we have a rather large renovation that's about to start underway. We just removed about 10,000 feet of something that rhymes with asbestos, but after that we're going to have probably about another 20 rooms or so. So that's going to be one of those things that we'll see if we can phase in.
I've put in about 5 laser projectors so far. I mean, we've been doing it for less than 9 months, and I've got 2 out to bid right now, and these are for small classrooms, but I'm looking at putting a 5,000 lumen projector in where I had a 3,500 lumen lamp for about, if you throw in the cost of 2 extra lamps, it's the same price.
Wow.
So I'm really liking that.
Just out of curiosity, is the warm-up time comparable? Or is it like short?
Warm-up time?
Yeah. Much shorter, right? Yeah.
I didn't. All right.
When you turn on a laser,
you can
basically once the capacitor charges, you're good.
Yeah. Okay. Once again,
I've got an 11,000 lumen projector that I put out that when it comes on, it's at 11,000 lumens. It's about 30 seconds before that one fires from cold. Okay. And like I said, there's no ramp up time. There's no, we got to turn this projector on 20 minutes before the event starts so it'll be bright enough by the time we get there. That's gone with this. And it holds the brightness, and 20,000 hour lamp, I'm going to have to figure out what to do with the laser when the projector dies or the technology changes so much that it's no longer usable in the room, because it's still going to be firing.
So I think on the flip side, they have no cool down time also, right? Don't they go just
they have a low cool
off?
Yeah,
and then you can pretty much turn it right back on.
And most of the ones that I'm seeing out there are liquid cooled with a sealed system.
Sealed, yeah.
The early ones that came out, you had to put antifreeze in them, basically every year.
Yeah.
That's what they told. It was a water antifreeze mix you added. Just like maintaining your car.
I was going to say, I'd love to see how that goes when you go to expense it with through your department.
You took your projector to Firestone.
Yeah. Hey guys, listen, I got to take this over to Pep Boys. Why? Well, fluid change.
Yeah. The one other thing, I guess 2 things we're seeing a lot of, and then I'll give Greg his turn if I don't steal all of his thunder here. Everybody's got something for the huddle space.
Yes.
Whether it's the furniture manufacturers or the microphones or the cameras or the TV mounts or whatever, pop-up boxes, everyone's got something that goes there.
Yeah.
And then also everyone has something to put video on IP.
Yes.
AVNation is not making anything for that yet, but everybody else here is.
Right.
McDonald's is next.
We do. I think we do. I think. Well, let's see. I think AptoVision was here, so they were pushing some things. They are pushing a.
But there's not one with your label on it.
Give me enough time. I'll make a trip to China.
Yeah.
So we'll work that through.
Yeah.
Mr. Greg Brown, what did you find?
I think two things of note. The one thing I liked from a tech manager's perspective, even though I'm not a tech manager anymore, from just a pure wonderful AV meatball surgery perspective, was the Altenex AnyWire system, where they are running HDMI over 1,000 feet of anything. And in their booth, they're running it over 1,000 feet of 22 gauge unshielded speaker cable.
That's impressive.
It doesn't look great. I'm not sure how it would look projected, but you would think if you're hanging a projector, you
remember the first time you put VGA over category cable?
Yeah.
It worked. It didn't look good. Now look at what we're doing.
Yeah.
Right.
That is true.
They're proving it's doable.
Yeah, Ernie, you probably know as well as I do when Extron had you can either get the skew-free cable or you can get the adjuster to where I would look at that and go and say, man, I haven't had to do this since the time when I was having to readjust the oil-filled CRT drums.
Yep.
Yes, with those projectors that if they fell on you would kill you. But that's a separate story. That is interesting to know. So if say the folks had like they originally had composite, that like a composite cable and everything, they
could run. Now, if you had composite cable, you might want to look at what is it, ZV, I think, like made their fortune doing nothing but stuff over coax, if I remember right. Not somebody I've looked at recently.
They're not far from where we are right now.
But
although I did have to admit, I did actually, speaking of coax, I did see Blundertongue was here. Their booth space was, I want to say, it was the smallest footprint I've seen on a manufacturer in quite a while. But
they're more of an NAB company, I guess.
That is true.
InfoComm, maybe.
Well, those guys are literally like 2 towns behind me. It's weird. I live right between, as I would tell everyone, between Aurora Multimedia and Blundertongue.
Oh, really?
Yeah, welcome to the wonderful wilds of Central Jersey, folks.
Right. Everyone's there.
I'm sorry, Greg, I cut you off.
No, that was fine. The other thing I thought was interesting was, I don't remember the name, but they had them in all the classrooms up there, the microphone you can toss around.
Catchbox.
Catchbox.
Yeah.
What was it?
Catchbox.
That's what it is.
Yes.
Catchbox. Yeah, it's like a padded cube with a microphone in it, and you can just...
What an idea.
And it's got a gyro in it, so when it's flying, it's muted.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I kept thinking there was like an accelerometer or something in there.
Yeah, very cool.
It's actually interesting to note about that. They have 2 models. So there's one that runs on regular Wi-Fi, 2.4 gigahertz. You couldn't kick it up to 5, but... and then they have the Pro model, in which you say, well, I have, say you've invested heavily, in our case, we're mostly a Sennheiser house. So say you have your Sennheiser belt packs. If you get the Pro model, you can actually put that into the catch box, and there's a little 1/8-inch plug into it and everything.
Yeah.
And you can reuse your own existing system and everything.
That's cool. Okay, I hadn't seen that one.
Yeah.
They had some up in the classrooms, and I think that probably has some niche applications on campus.
Yeah.
The other thing I did want to mention was my nomination for the stupidest name at the show.
Yeah.
Do tell.
It's back over here, and I forget whether it's like systems or technologies, but it's like DNF systems or DNF technologies.
Yeah.
As in, like, did not finish.
Yeah.
Like you would see in a race.
Could have been DNR. Do not resume.
It's DNF. And they're right back over here. So they're like very basic button control systems.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Like something along the lines of, what's the little one in California? SP controls.
Pixie Pro.
Pixie.
Yeah, those things.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen a number of those. Funny enough, some associates of mine in Rutgers happily, they originally started off with Pixie, and they eventually said, nuts to this. They went and actually got their own Python programmer, and now they went and got their own Python program, and they made their own Raspberry Pi control system essentially. To which I say, congrats. I hope you pay your Python programmer well.
Yeah, I know a few people who have rolled out, those no-name systems like that to save money, and after a couple of years, get rid of them and put in something from one of our known names.
The one thing I'm kind of curious is to see is how just speaking of control systems, how Control 4 has merged over with buying out Package. I think the 2 of them had 2 separate booths still.
Yeah, they do.
Okay. So who knows? Maybe
I know
they're still keeping them
Package has
separate.
its own booth. I have not. Where's the Control 4 booth?
I know it's in the North Hall here somewhere. I saw the guys with the shirts, so they're around. That aside, I believe, Vadio still has their own booth, even though they were just recently acquired by Milestone.
Right.
But
Milestone does not have its own booth anyway.
Yeah, they don't
All their
really-
groups have their own booth.
Yeah, fair enough. That's true.
Because that's what I was looking for when I first got here.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this already. Did you guys hear that their mascot Daylight Man was doing a pull-up challenge?
No, I did not see that.
Oh, okay. The challenge was offered to me, and I simply looked and said, "I'll watch folks do the pull-up challenge, but I am not."
No?
No.
Not even on camera?
No. I do not. Please, there's enough proof of me on Periscope and on Snapchat, me making a fool of myself. I don't need. I don't need Trade magazine to pick that up.
We have a Daylight Man.
There's a Daylight Man.
Yeah,
it's a gentleman.
Oh shucks, I missed it. Gosh, I'm disappointed.
Oh,
gotta run right over there after the show.
My Greg, if there was a sarcasm potentiometer, you'd be burying the needles there.
Yeah. Head to toe in blue spandex.
We've just had so many stupid promo things here.
Yeah.
If you come here every year, you get a little kind of, somebody's going to do something just absolutely.
If anything, last year you have to remember, Vadio had the Monopoly. They had their booth set up in Monopoly theme.
Yeah.
The year before that, it was Comic-Con themed, and this place actually yelled at them saying, that thing's coming in the following week. You can't have here, blah, blah, blah. Because they actually hired cosplayers.
Interesting.
Once again, fun show floor tidbits here, folks.
Yeah. One of the booths over in the Central Hall, it's one of the furniture booths out in the middle. Far middle has Abraham Lincoln.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Okay,
I saw him like walking around.
Yeah.
That might have been. Do you think was that? No, I don't think that was AV furniture. No, AVF. I don't think so.
I almost want to say it was Marshall Furniture.
Might have been.
Probably. They are out of
Somebody
Illinois,
is watching this 12 hours from now and screaming at their computer.
Right.
It's fine. By all means, folks, you can find me on...
As if people don't scream at their computer listening to us anyway.
Right.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Once again, I'll take all
this
forms.
is just like old time's sake.
Aww. By the way, for those who are just catching up on this, Greg was formerly at UC Berkeley, correct?
No, UCLA.
UCLA. Oh man, all right. And went over to the integration side.
We'll talk about that one after the show.
Oh dear, man,
UCLA for 18 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
so
now
we are
I
happy to
went
have
to
Greg
work
back.
for an integrator.
Yes.
I was saying I crossed over to the dark side, but I've been told a few times now that if I had gone to work as a consultant, that would be crossing over.
Wait a minute.
Hey, wait a minute. I came from that place as well.
It's true. People bust on consultants all the time.
Yeah. I mean,
if I had known, I wouldn't have gone this route.
Yeah.
Take a beating here. Yeah.
Just say, trust me.
Yeah, that was one thing they pointed out at the Crestron A+ party. Notice there are no consultants here.
I heard that. Yes, I heard that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Word gets out, Crestron. Yeah.
Actually, I do have to give them credit. Ernie, I don't know if your A+ rep changed or not, but
Everyone's A+ rep changes on a regular basis, except Canada's apparently.
we had mine was Laney Materis for the longest time, and now we actually have a new guy, Bill Houston, who I have to give him credit. He's a really good guy. He actually came from the system design. He was a former integrator, so he came to visit us on our campus, and I was expecting, here we're going to push the sales maneuver, and he kind of came up and said, no, like, tell me what issues you have, like what, he actually explained a couple of features on a product that we were looking at, and it's actually saving us about $1,200 a room. Yeah. So,
well, I really like our A+ rep, and I mean, I like all the ones that we've had.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I've seen several of them here on the show floor.
They're like Time Lords. They have to regenerate every 2 or 3 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Careful, there's going to be a blue sonic screwdriver with the swirl at the end.
Yeah.
Oh dear. That aside, everyone's flying out today, I take it?
Yeah.
Tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning?
You actually get to tonight with a nice dinner and just relax.
See, he actually gets to relax.
Yeah.
Me and Ernie are going to play the rat race game and see how long the TSA lines are going to be like today.
No, it's the cab line to try to get to the airport.
The cab line, that's the longest line here.
That is true. That's true. I'll definitely give you credit.
Yeah.
Last time I did that, I caught a very late cab, and to make up time, we ended up in one of these really long stoplight lines. The guy pulled into the opposing lane and skirted all of it and dove in front of the other cars.
So how much of your life flashed before your eyes?
I think that was the last time I took a cab, 4 o'clock on Friday out of the show.
Yeah.
I'm driving home tomorrow morning, thank you very
There
much.
you go.
Good times.
Yep.
Driving home those 400 miles, nice and safe like I like it.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I'd like to say that the cab drivers here have scared me, but I've spent some time in the Middle East, and their driving laws are really more like suggestions. So for around here, I'm like, oh, this is civil, comparatively. But yeah, aside from that, gentlemen, I think as I say, you have any other final thoughts or anything?
I don't think
No.
this has been fun.
That sums it
Enjoyed
up.
the show. Enjoyed the show.
Yeah.
The discussion
I
here.
think it's been good. Greg, it's
Nice to
Greg
be
back.
back.
It's
Nice
good
to
to
visit.
it's good to see you, Greg. If anything, I know you're working long hours, but at the same time, I'm sure you're enjoying your new career. And if anything, being as a former integrator tech many years ago, I will just say this: you want to put what where? Oh, sure, okay. Mostly in that's here, guys. We have to fit an entire 2 to 3 racks worth of space into. For some strange reason, the consultant only spec'd the half rack shelves.
Yeah.
Who's got the bandsaw?
Always the consultant, Anthony.
Always the consultant.
I'll tell you.
I've done enough consultant jobs where oh wait a minute, I'm sorry, you're here.
It's definitely a different world. At UCLA, we'd take $300,000 or $400,000 and we'd start before summer, and we'd design and we would plan and we'd build systems, and we'd spend the summer building up a whole bunch of rooms and spend that $300,000 or $400,000, and we'd call it a busy summer. In the integration world, we call that June.
Yeah.
And it happens 12 times a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fun times.
Yep.
All right. Well, gentlemen, as I say, I think that wraps it up for this show. Once again, Mike, where can all these fine listeners find you at?
Well, my website is tomeiav.com, TOMEIAV.com, or LinkedIn. I'm always on there.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Mr. Bailey?
You can find me on LinkedIn.
Mr. Greg Brown?
Everybody seems to follow me on LinkedIn. I have people coming up telling me that's where they know me from, and they follow my continuing saga of the posted pictures I can get away with posting and things like that.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, I'm Bill O'Donnell. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can also find me on Twitter at the original OD. Believe me, there's plenty of fun AV-related things as well as plenty of non-AV, but by all means, please contact me. I'll be more than happy to chat with you. We will see you guys next month.